You know, going back to President Obama, I'll tell you something that surprised me today. I was watching the announcement by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton about the United States position as the chief diplomat and the president of Syria, that he must go, that he's got to leave. And as I was looking at the screen, I thought, this very important thing, the president, and let me be very sarcastic, he's busy packing for his vacation. He hasn't given the jobs plan. Meanwhile, it's almost like he outsourced this, and she looked much more presidential. And sitting there up on the screen announcing the policy of the United States, and I thought to myself, is he just tired? Is he sort of given up, or I mean, suddenly she looked like the president?
Well, he's got his priorities skewed, really, Greta, and I take it literal that he was getting ready for, packing for vacation, while here it was Secretary Clinton asking on behalf of the United States of America for another president of another country to step down. That is our president's role. No, this is another example of President Obama leading from behind. Makes you scratch your head and wonder, what really does he do? What does he desire to do in that position as leader of the free world and so much influence that he has? And in a case like this, he stepping back and allowing Hillary Clinton to basically carry the water for our entire nation. Very strange goings on there with our foreign policy decisions and announcements like that. And I'll bet you, Greta, going out on a limb, because obviously I can't speak for liberal Democrats, but I just think that after a day like this, where you saw that kind of presidential aura of Hillary Clinton as she made that announcement today, while Barack Obama was packing to head out for 10 days on vacation again to go golf and tickle his feet in the sand, I'll bet you people, if they had to do it over again, who had that choice at that time in the Democrat primary between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, I'll bet you today they are saying we should have gone with Hillary Clinton.
It's amazing to me, though, as I think to myself, like, why has he almost sort of given up that he would sort of outsource that? I mean, where's the fighting spirit for him? I just don't get this, because he was such a strong on the campaign trail, and he inspired so many Americans. I was hoping that he would inspire people who had never ever been involved in politics. He got them out to vote, and now it's almost as though he's lost his steam. He seems to have lost the interest, or at least right now in this month he has.
Well, the difference between him now and back there 3 years ago on the campaign trail is he was getting away with everything on the campaign trail, and it was driving me crazy as a team member of the John McCain presidential team as we were campaigning for office, watching what the press was letting candidate Barack Obama get away with his proclamation that he'd be transforming America, and yet nobody asking him, what in the world do you mean you want to transform the greatest, most prosperous, safest, healthiest nation in the world? What do you mean transform it? Do you mean restore all that is good and strong about America, or truly you want to fundamentally transform it? That's just one example of candidate Obama spewing that kind of rhetoric and getting away with it. And now, 3 years later, we're understanding what he meant by that fundamental transformation of America as we see more and more failed policies being implemented, and we sit here scratching our heads wondering what is next. We saw markets today reacting to volatility, reacting to a lack of plan, which leads to lack of confidence in the marketplaces, and we wonder how much worse is this going to get before 2012. I tell you, 2012 can't come soon enough.
How can we help him be? I mean, how can we help matters now? I mean, 2012. I mean, and whether you're Republican or Democrat, I don't know what's going to happen come 2012. But in the meantime, people really are without jobs, and we all really. I mean, even if you're a Republican, you got if you're a good, decent citizen, you got to want President Obama in some ways to really succeed, so that people can go back to work and have all the opportunity. So even as an opponent in another political party, what can you do to help him?
That is a great question, what we can all do to help our country right now. One thing we cannot do is put our faith in an individual, a politician, or even really a political party or government policies. Because I talked about this in my gubernatorial inaugural address a few years ago. I said, government cannot make you happy, healthy, wealthy, or wise. We have to reach within ourselves and find within us the entrepreneurial spirit, the ingenuity, the work ethic, those things that Americans back in pioneering days built and resulted in the greatest, most prosperous, most exceptional country on earth. We have to look within ourselves, do what we can to create our own jobs. Don't wait for government government to create jobs for us. They're just going to mess it up, that bureaucratic morass that we find in Washington, D.C. Let's get out there and let's hire people. Let's say for the future we have to make sure that we're taking care of our families and our small businesses and being prudent and planning ahead. But let's get out there and be bold with our own initiatives and not wait for that elite bubble in Washington, D.C., those folks who are within that bubble, to tell us how it's going to be and how the economy can be planned for us. They just keep messing it up, Greta, and we're going to have to do that within ourselves and in our own families, in our own small communities and in our own states, and kind of ignore the chaos and the turbulence that's coming out of Washington, D.C., and pull ourselves up from the bootstraps, just like Americans used to do. Ignore the problems in Washington. Let's take care of it ourselves, and then let's hope that soon we do have elected officials who will come in and get government out of the way so that the private sector can do what it does best and stimulate the economy.
All right, about an hour ago, I got an email from my colleague Carl Cameron with a press release saying that you're going to Iowa for a Tea Party speech in early September. Of course, you know, so we're all suspicious. A lot of little chatter about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So let me know, are you any closer to making a decision, and why are you going back to Iowa?
Thankful to have been invited to a Tea Party event there, an inaugural Tea Party event where we will talk about the solutions to the problems that Americans are facing right now. Anxious to be there September 3rd, and you know, we'll be continuing to do a lot of travel and
it's an
a lot
awful
of
tease,
discussion
though.
about solutions.
You know, it's an awful tease trying to guess what different candidates are doing, and you know, everyone's teased. You know, you get the bus, you're in Iowa. I mean, you know, so like, you know, you're one of the subjects that's driving the media a little bit mad. So can you at least give me a little bit of a hint which way the wind is blowing tonight?
Still contemplating whether I should jump in there or not, but in the meantime, very determined to help get this country back on the right track. Remember, Greta, you don't need a title to make a difference. You don't need to hold an office to make a difference. I think I am proof of that, as are millions of other Americans. And looking forward to this event where I can help explain to other Americans how we can all be a part of the solution by empowering empowering one another, and not waiting for government to do it for us.
And I can see in the background it's getting very dark in Alaska. It must be getting, we're getting towards the end of the summer, but it's dark so early in Wasilla. No more midnight sun, Governor.
Nope, summer did wind down quickly. Fall time is here. That nip is in the air, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Indeed it is. Governor, thank you.
Thanks so much.